Human engineer repairs rusty prosthetic legs, then woman asks tea. Beginning, the city of ash and steel. The rain never stopped in Aegis 9, the megacity floating above a scarred earth. Down below, the surface was unlivable, burned soil, poisoned air, and seas that boiled with chemical waste. Above, life went on in layers of steel towers, neon signs, and humming air trams. At the bottom level of the city, where light barely reached and machines rusted quicker than food spoiled, lived the forgotten people, outcasts, refugees, and broken soldiers left behind after wars no one remembered. Among them worked Elias Vance, a human engineer. He was no one important, just a man with grease-stained hands and a tiny repair shop tucked under a collapsed bridge. While corporations built synthetic marvels and polished chrome prosthetics for the rich, Elias handled the scraps. He repaired the old models, the clunky iron arms, squeaky knee joints, and rusty prosthetic legs that squealed with every step. It wasn't glamorous work. His tools were second-hand. His parts were salvaged from junk heaps. But Elias did it because he remembered what it was like to lose movement. Years ago, an accident in the mines nearly took his own legs. A cheap exosuit saved him, but the experience left him with a vow: no one should be trapped in their own body just because they were poor. That evening, as the acidic rain pattered against the roof of his shop, Elias heard a knock. Not the usual desperate banging of a soldier whose arm had fallen off mid-shift, nor the timid tapping of a child whose father couldn't walk. This knock was slow, deliberate. He opened the door. A woman stood there. Her clothes were ragged, stitched together from scavenged cloth. Her face was streaked with grime, but her eyes burned, sharp, calculating. What drew his attention, however, were her legs. They were prosthetic, yes, but older than anything Elias had seen still in use. Rust crawled up the metal like ivy. The knee joints clicked with every small movement. Wires sparked faintly, and the smell of ozone mixed with rot filled the air. "Are you the engineer?" she asked, her voice calm but carrying weight. Elias nodded. "I am. Come inside before the rain eats through your circuits." She stepped in, each motion stiff, pained. Elias watched her carefully. She was young, but the way she moved told him she had lived through battles, escapes, and survival in places far harsher than this part of the city. "What's your name?" he asked as she lowered herself onto his workbench stool. "Kayla." "And what do you need repaired?" Kayla looked at him with a half-smile that carried exhaustion. She tapped her corroded thighs. "Everything. Middle, secrets in the metal." 4 hours, Elias worked. He unscrewed rusted bolts, drained leaking fluid, and rewired fried circuits. Kayla sat quietly, watching him with eyes that never seemed to blink for long. Her legs told stories, of places beyond the city walls. The metal wasn't from Aegis 9, it was older, hand-forged, patched together with alloys he didn't recognize. Each dent looked like it came from a battle. "Where did you get these?" Elias finally asked, using a laser scalpel to cut away a corroded plate. Kayla hesitated. "From a war you've never heard of." "That much I can see. But why not upgrade? The corporations sell new prosthetics. Expensive, but functional." Her lips pressed into a thin line. "Because these are not just prosthetics. They're keys." Elias frowned, setting down his tool. "Keys?" Kayla nodded. "Inside the core of these legs is something I cannot let fall into the wrong hands. Something I've kept hidden for years." He tilted his head, suddenly uneasy. "What kind of something?" Her eyes flicked toward the rain-streaked window. "A map." Elias blinked. "A map? Inside your prosthetics?" "Not just any map," she whispered. "The coordinates to a vault buried beneath the poisoned surface. A vault containing pre-collapse technology, the kind that could rebuild the world or destroy it." The words hung heavy in the air. Elias had heard rumors. Before Earth was scorched, humanity had built vaults, repositories of lost knowledge, clean energy, even terraforming devices. Most people dismissed them as myths. But Kayla's voice carried conviction. "And you've been walking around with this?" he muttered, resuming his work but more carefully now. "For 15 years, she said softly. "I lost everything protecting it. My squad, my family, everyone. The corporations hunt me, bounty hunters too. They all know I carry something, but not what. That's why I came to you, Elias Vance. You're human. You repair because you care, not for credits." Elias exhaled. His fingers trembled slightly as he replaced a joint actuator. "And what do you want from me, Kayla?" Her gaze locked onto his. "Help me walk again. Help me reach the vault." Rising conflict. Elias didn't sleep that night. He kept working, replacing what he could, improvising where he couldn't. But the weight of Kayla's revelation pressed on him. If she spoke the truth, then what she carried could change everything. By morning, Kayla stood, her legs moving smoother, stronger. Not perfect, but stable. She tested her balance, flexed her knees, even took a few cautious steps. "You're better than I expected," she admitted. "I just did what I could," Elias replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "But if you're serious about this vault, you'll need more than working legs. You'll need allies." Kayla smirked faintly. And you? I swore I'd never fight again, he muttered. But if what you say is real, then maybe it's worth breaking that vow. Before Kayla could answer, the shop's front door exploded inward. 3 figures in black armor stormed inside, their weapons humming with plasma energy. Their helmets bore the insignia of Ericon Industries, one of the most ruthless corporations in Aegis 9. There she is, one barked. Stand down, Kayla. Kayla's face hardened. Elias had no time to think. He grabbed a wrench and swung it at the first soldier, knocking the weapon from his hand. Kayla, despite her half-repaired legs, launched forward with a speed Elias hadn't expected. She twisted, swept her prosthetic leg under another soldier's stance, and sent him crashing. The third fired. A searing plasma bolt scorched past Elias's head, melting a hole into the wall. Elias tackled the soldier, smashing the butt of the plasma rifle into the man's helmet until it cracked. Silence followed, only the rain dripping through the shattered doorway. Kayla's chest heaved, her eyes burning. They found me sooner than I thought. Elias gritted his teeth. Then we run. Now. Journey to the surface. Leaving the city meant passing through checkpoints, bribing guards, and sneaking through maintenance tunnels no sane person entered. Elias and Kayla traveled in shadows, the hum of patrol drones overhead. Kayla spoke little, conserving her energy. When she did, she told Elias about the vault, its rumored contents, seed banks untouched by radiation, water purifiers, nanoforges that could rebuild cities overnight. Days later, they reached the surface gate, a massive steel barrier sealing off the toxic wastelands below. Few ever went through, and those who did rarely returned. This is where you turn back, Kayla said, her tone almost gentle. The surface kills. Radiation, storms, creatures twisted by centuries of mutation. I won't ask you to follow. Elias looked at her. He thought of his vow, his shop, his quiet life. But then he thought of the broken soldiers who limped into his workshop, the children who cried when their parents couldn't walk. He stepped forward. I'm already in this. Let's finish it. Kayla's eyes softened. Then we finish it together. The gate groaned open, and the poisoned earth greeted them. Climax, the vault. The wastelands stretched like a graveyard. Skies choked with ash. Buildings half buried in sand. Creatures with glowing eyes prowled in the distance. Guided by the encrypted map within Kayla's prosthetics, they trekked for days. Storms tore at their bodies, but they pressed on. Finally, they reached it, a colossal bunker door, half buried in rubble. Symbols of the old world still glowed faintly on its surface. Kayla approached, placing her rusted leg against a panel. Circuits inside her prosthetics lit up, transmitting the long-buried codes. With a thunderous rumble, the vault door began to open. Inside, rows upon rows of shining machines. Pods of preserved plants. Crates labeled with technologies lost for centuries. In the center stood a massive console, humming with energy. Kayla's eyes shimmered with tears. It's real. But before they could step further, a voice echoed. Well done, Kayla. You led us right to it. From the shadows emerged a squad of Ericon soldiers, weapons raised. Behind them, a man in a white corporate exosuit smirked. Elias cursed. You were followed. Kayla's fists clenched. I knew it wouldn't be easy. The exosuited man raised his arm. Kill the engineer. Bring me the girl's legs intact. The vault erupted into chaos. Plasma fire lit the darkness. Kayla, despite her patched-up body, fought with ferocity, her prosthetic legs slamming soldiers into walls. Elias grabbed tools, wires, anything he could, using them to short-circuit weapons and blind helmets. At the height of the battle, Elias reached the central console. He saw a single glowing lever, Vault Override. If Ericon seized control, everything would be lost. Kayla, he shouted. Now or never. Kayla dove, tearing free of a soldier's grip. She slammed her leg against the console, transmitting the last of her codes. The vault rumbled. Defense systems activated, drones and turrets emerging from hidden walls. Ericon soldiers were torn apart by automated fire. The exosuited leader screamed as a drone's beam sliced through his armor. Then silence. The vault sealed again, its systems resetting. Kayla collapsed to her knees, exhausted. Elias rushed to her side. You okay? He asked. She smiled weakly. Better than okay. We did it. Ending, a choice for tomorrow. For days, they explored the vault. Machines whirred to life. Pure water flowed from hidden reservoirs. Seeds untouched by time sprouted in artificial soil. Kayla touched a glowing pod, tears streaking her dirty face. This could save millions. Elias looked at her. Then what now? Do we give it to the corporations? The governments? Or, do we protect it ourselves? Kayla shook her head. No one can own this. It belongs to everyone. Together, they activated the vault's broadcast system. Across Aegis 9 and beyond, a signal was sent. The Earth could heal. The vaults were real. The future could be rebuilt, not for profit, but for people. Of course, enemies would come. Battles would follow. But for now, hope had returned. As they stood side by side, Elias couldn't help but smile. Guess I did more than just repair your legs. Kayla smirked. And I did more than just ask. The vault lights glowed brighter, illuminating them both. For the first time in decades, the world felt like it might begin again.